Hi there again, Susan here. So the next question after understanding cultural conditioning is this who we really are? How much of this cultural conditioning is simply what we've absorbed from our culture, and how much of it is a more accurate reflection of our authentic self? And how do we separate that out? So, of course, the first question is just to ask ourselves these questions. So if, for example, I don't like to hug, is this really me? Or am I just a product of my culture? And what I found a few years ago is actually I'm a product of my culture when it comes to hugging, because I've been very distant about hugging in my life. And several years ago, I was at a workshop and we released a whole bunch of issues. And all of a sudden, now I love to hug. I'm a big hugger. I like to hug. I like to receive hugs. It's totally shifted for me. And so that's just an example of what can happen. And very often we just assume that because we're a certain way, that's just how we are. And we don't really look at, is there another part of ourselves, a younger part or just a more authentic part that somehow we've hidden away for various reasons, of course. It could be many different reasons. So today I just wanted to bring this issue up because that is really the next step. Once we see about cultural conditioning, then it's like, okay, how do we look at that issue, release what isn't working, whatever cultural conditioning is affecting us, and release it so that we can get more and more in touch with who our authentic selves are, who we are really. So the first step is awareness of cultural conditioning. The next step then is releasing cultural conditioning. And one way that works very, very well with this is fast track technique. And there are some workshops coming up about this that you can attend. One's called Beyond Broken. So check that out. I'll try and leave the link here on my video. And then, of course, it's releasing these, learning how to release these, which we can do with Fast Track. And of course, there are other ways to do this as well. And release these, and then we start paying attention to, okay, how is it I really am? How really, once I give up this conditioning, or even if you feel a conflict, like, oh, I'd like to hug, but I'm afraid to hug. Or if you feel a conflict, then there's something beyond your cultural conditioning. There's some part of you that wants to be different than your cultural conditioning. So a lot of it is really paying attention to yourself. What really fits for you? What fits for each of us? And then always looking at, and how much of what we're actually doing is cultural conditioning and not who we authentically are. And how can we get more and more and more to our authentic self? So that's the challenge for today. Okay, talk to you later. Bye bye. Oh, and again, my YouTube channel, Susan Spillman, PhD. Please look at that if you're interested in more of these kinds of things and what else I'm up to. Okay, thanks. Bye bye.